This is the all-new Nissan Navara, and while it might just be a redone version of the Mitsubishi Triton, don't let that deceive you into thinking that they've just done the easy job, because they've done a lot of hard work to make this feel different in terms of the drive experience. It obviously looks different too, but let's talk about it in more detail in this review, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Thanks for subscribing. Let's go. I can't tell you exactly what the new generation Navara is going to cost, but I can tell you at launch there will be three different variants available. An entry-level work-focused tradie one, and then there's the STX, which is this one here, the mid-spec model with a fair few extra features and a different suspension setup, and there's the Pro 4X, which is different again and does have a whole heap of more exciting features to the exterior and interior design. So it could be a very good choice for someone who wants to stand out and look a bit leery. But all of them are going to be the same configuration. So dual cab, four-wheel drive, 2.4 litre turbo diesel, automatic gearbox, and a pickup only. No cab chassis anymore. No single cab, no king cab, and no dual cab chassis either. No manual transmission either. So look, they've simplified the range in this lineup to make it a far more easy to manage option for both dealers and also for customers to make their choice. Now, don't go thinking that the Pro 4X will be the only high-grade version. There is going to be another Nissan Navara Warrior version at the top of the range later on, and you'll see some concept images of that one right now, and honestly it looks like it's going to be worth the wait. It's coming later on. Don't know the exact timing for it just yet, but let's talk about some of the inclusions that you're going to get. Even in the entry-level version, you're going to get things like LED lighting. There's also going to be a surround view camera system and a whole host of active safety technology. I'll tell you more about that later on. Now, if you're choosing something like this STX, you're getting the lovely leather interior trim finish, electric front seat adjustment, and all of them are going to come with a 9-inch touchscreen media system with wireless Apple CarPlay, plug-in Android Auto, sat nav, and that surround view camera system as standard. So plenty of really good kit, dual zone climate control, and if you choose the high grade Pro 4X, you're getting the red interior and exterior highlights. You're getting extra features like a wireless phone charger and different wheel designs as well. So really, I reckon there's going to be a fair bit of choice, even though the choices will be fewer in this lineup. And I reckon that really the pricing could be the critical element for the success of this new Navara. I would suggest you could be seeing something between 40 and 60,000-ish for the Pro 4X model. The Warrior, leave a bit of room for it, and it might be, again, a $70,000+ option. But I'd love to know what you think it should be priced at. Have you say in the comments. And speaking of price, let's talk about some alternatives that you might want to consider if you are shopping with a different kind of budget. Okay, firstly, Mitsubishi Triton is a great option. If you are considering a wallet-friendly dual cab ute or a single cab or an extra cab, it does have a number of different options available to you. Heaps of cab chassis variants as well. So it could be a better fit if you're a tradie or you want that extra usability that you might be able to get instead of having a tub at the back. Now, another great option to look at, if you can bear looking at it, is the Kia Tasman. I think it's a fantastic dual cab ute with a great engine and really lovely interior finishing. I think that it does offer immense value for money, and you can get deals on it already. It hasn't had the fastest start in our market because of its divisive looks, but if you like the look of it, it could be well worth a look by you. Another great option, obviously, is the Ford Ranger. I still think it's the best all-round dual cab ute in the market. There's a number of different variants available, but they've just dropped one of the best engines. The bi-turbo is gone. Instead, there's going to be single turbo diesel or a high-spec 3-litre V6 diesel, which will be more available across more variants too. But it does cost a fair bit of money, that Ranger, so it might not be right for everyone. And hey, look, there's one other thing I want to call out. If you aren't going to go off-roading all the time and you don't need the hugest payload and the biggest towing capacity, you really should do yourself a favor and go and check out the BYD Shark 6. If you live somewhere where you have to commute to work and you want to do it cost effectively, you've got charging at home, well, it could be a fantastic choice because you can essentially do 80 to 100 Ks on EV and then let it be a hybrid if you need it to be. It's well worth a look, and I think it's the best lifestyle ute if you aren't necessarily necessarily considering off-roading and towing as part of your everyday lifestyle. But what do you think? Have you say in the comments. Okay, let's have a look at the design of this new generation Navara, and obviously it does have the same silhouette as the Triton Donor Ute because it's all the same metalwork. There is no change to the sheet metal at all, but there has been a big change to the fascia. As you can see here, you've got a very different design for the grille. They've got the 3-slot section above the grille there, which harks back to the old D21 back in the old days, and also you can see you've got a very different headlight design and this nice little Navara plate there, which I think looks great. As you can see, this one is the STX model. It gets a nice looking set of wheels on Maxxis tires, all terrains as standard, which is great. And right there, you'll see you've also got some side steps that you, well, might love or might not. And the sailplane at the back as well, which could get in the way. It is just a sports roll bar or whatever they call it, but with a little plate in the middle. Now, I'll put some dimensions on your screen so you can see for yourself. It is familiar in terms of its size, just over 5.3 meters long, 3.1 meter wheelbase, and it's got plenty of good off-road credentials as well. 228 millimeters of ground clearance. There's also pretty good off-road angles, as you'll see on your screen now, and the weights are, well, class competitive. Just over 2.1 tons for the lightest one, and payload capacity as well is decent. Now there is a fringe benefits tax friendly or lease friendly 950 kilo payload available on at least one of the variants, and up to more than a ton of payload depending on which one you are picking. Gross vehicle mass just over 3.1 tons, or just under 3.2 I should say, and your gross combination mass 6250 kg. So keep that in mind when you are considering your payload and also your towing capacity, which is 3.5 tons braked towing capacity, so the benchmark level. Now let's have a look at the back end design here. I reckon it looks very, very tidy. I thought the Triton looked good anyway, but this one with that badging across the back is a nice finish. You've also got a sort of glossy looking bumper at the back, no steps on the side, but you do have a nice opening tailgate here, which is assisted. That's good to see. And you've got a tub liner, which is dirty already because there's no cargo cover or tonneau cover, but it's a plastic liner. And look, the tub dimensions, as you'll see on your screen, aren't Aussie pallet friendly in terms of the gap between the wheel arches, but you can still fit a Euro pallet in there if that's what you're working with, or just have plenty of space for whatever it is you need. Now, on the side, you won't see those adjustable top rails anymore, but you do get the tie down points up there and up there. And yeah, I reckon that it's pretty good, but doesn't necessarily change the game in terms of what's on offer in the tub area. No power outlet, and as far as I can tell, there's no lighting on this particular spec anyway. But let's have a look underneath. You are getting a full-size spare wheel, as you can see, and you can see under this one you've got a 3-leaf spring setup, which is a, well, comfort focused tune. I think that the more work ready base model, when it arrives, will have 4 leaves, so a bit more hardcore and a bit more rough riding potentially. But let's have a look at the interior and see what it's like. All right, let's play spot the difference. No, we're not going to do that because, well, there are some differences compared to the Triton Donor Ute that this vehicle is based on, but it's a good interior, and so is this. I really like it, and I like the layout of it for the most part. Let's talk through it, okay? So you've got this leather-lined steering wheel in this STX with these grippy bits on the side, which actually feel quite nice in the hand. You've got the controls that are relatively simple to get your head around, I've got to say. You've got some voice and phone stuff on this side with your cruise, and some volume and menu stuff on that side. Regular old blinker stalk on the correct side with your headlights, and also a wiper stalk on that side. No paddle shifters on the STX. Maybe there'll be paddle shifters on a higher grade version. And this little guy right here is a driver monitoring camera. But yes, no judgment on that just yet. 7-inch screen here is standard across all grades with a set of analog dials either side, and I think that that is pretty good. You've got digital speedo, you've got a digital speed limit readout and temperature up there as well. Then there's this 9-inch touchscreen media system, which is familiar from other models in the Nissan lineup and the Mitsubishi lineup, and it's not bad at all. I do like the fact that it does have some physical controls that you can use that are very easy to get your head around. And as you can see, the buttons down there and the dials over here, that's all thumbs upping for me. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay available and Android Auto, but it's a plug-in Android Auto system, unfortunately. You do also have here a couple of on-screen menus, so you can see there you've got your sat nav. If you want to use sat nav instead, you've got the very, very good surround view camera system, which is a massive improvement over the existing system in the last Navara, which wasn't that good. But yeah, you can toggle through some views if you want to, and yeah, all of this you'll get used to. I don't like the fact that it is a bit smudgy. This is a brand new car with only a few people having sat in it, and look, it's already a bit grimy. But down here you'll see you've also got a selection of buttons and dials. That is familiar from the Triton as well. You've got dual zone climate control in this STX, and I like these glove friendly toggles. So that means that you'll be able to, if you are on the work site, still be able to adjust things, press buttons as you wish. And you've got seat heating in this STX as well, and plenty of great controls beyond that. So down below here you'll see there's USB-C and A ports, push button start, your rear differential lock button, a 12 volt and a wireless phone charger, which is great. Nice shifter. Down here you'll see you've also got some other controls, including drive modes. There's a number of different drive modes available to you. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on, but save some for the big actual drive of this car in a few months' time. Hill descent, that's your off-road controller, and you've got decent sized bottle holders or cup holders between the seats and a manual handbrake for this one. Now, you don't get the pop-out cup holders underneath the vents in this Navara STX. Don't know if they're reserved for a higher grade or just not offered in the Navara, but that could be annoying for some. You get the dual glove box layout, which is actually pretty bloody handy. Lockable lower glove box as well. Bottle holders in the doors. These seats, I reckon they are comfy and very nicely finished. I like the Navara stitching up here. If you choose the Pro 4X, it says Pro 4X there, and you bet when you choose the Warrior, it'll have Warrior on the seat as well. Overhead, you've got the light headlining. I like that. That's that air regenerator thing, which I'll tell you about in the back seat. And you've also got a sunglasses holder, regular old controls up here, your emergency call button as well, because it does have connected services, which is great. It means you can set the temperature in the car. You can also check where the car is. You can do stolen vehicle tracking and lock and unlock from your phone, which is great for a dual cab ute and fleet friendly too. Now up here you have a vanity mirror. It's not illuminated for the driver. On the passenger side, same story, and you've got an auto dimming rear vision mirror up there. And the grab handles, yep, there's a big hoik handle there and an overhead grab handle even for the driver. All of this is very, very accommodating, I would suggest. I like it, but let's check out the back seat space and see what it's like. Rightio, let's have a look at the back seat space here. Plenty for someone my size. That seat is set for my driving position. I'm 6 foot tall and I've got enough knee room here. Toe room's a little tight. Headroom is good though, so that is great to see. The seat comfort is good as well. Seems to be something that lots of brands don't prioritize in their dual cab utes. You've got nice retractable grab handles. There are also hoik handles on the side, and you've got this very clever air regenerator system. So there's a fan control system up here that allows you to adjust the fan speed and get some air flowing back to the back, because there are not traditional vents down here, but you do get USB-C and A ports, a 12 volt and a bit of a transmission tunnel to contend with, I would say. Now, in terms of the storage, you've got map pockets on the seat backs, but no top pockets here. Maybe that's to stop it from annoying the driver, but you do have top pockets here and a big pocket down there. There's reasonably sized bottle holders in the doors, soft elbow padding where there should be. That's a bit hard, and that's a bit hard too, but who cares? It's a dual cab ute. Now you've got ISO fix points in the window seats, but it is one of those utes that has the center top tether position only. There are no top tethers down behind the seat. You do get a set of cup holders in this flip down armrest. Now let me show you what else we've got in terms of storage. If I pull this forward, yep, you will see that there is no extra top tethers down there, and the storage behind there is, well, a little bit limited, but you can fit some stuff if you need to. Let's check if it has a lift up base though, because that could be something that is helpful for some users. And no, not a thing. No. Oh well, what do you reckon about that? Good enough? Under the bonnet of the Nissan Navara is a 2.4 litre bi-turbo 4-cylinder diesel engine. Yes, it's the same engine as you'll find in every version of the Triton, and it's going to be offered in every version of the Navara as well. The outputs are 150 kilowatts, 470 newton meters, so class competitive but not class leading. But it comes as standard with a 6-speed automatic transmission, no manual as I said, and it's got the easy 4-wheel drive system. So it's like Super Select 4x4 from Mitsubishi. It allows you to drive in all-wheel drive essentially without the center diff locked on sealed surfaces. You can switch it at up to 100 k's an hour, but of course if you want to, there's also the 4-wheel drive high range with the center diff locked, and 4-wheel drive low range with the center diff locked, and there's a rear differential lock as well, and a limited slip diff at the rear too. So plenty of boxes ticked there. Now let's go drive it off-road and see what it's like. No on-road test for this one, unfortunately. Make sure you ring the bell and you'll be notified when I get a chance to do one. So what is this new generation Navara like to drive? Well, you might be surprised that it is a bit different to the Mitsubishi Triton donor vehicle that it's based upon. There's different dampers to the Triton. Still got the same springs and chassis hardware otherwise, but it's also got a different steering tune. So you can expect a fairly different kind of experience in terms of the driving, but it's not like night and day between the two. It's still a diesel dual cab ute with the donor hardware, so in a lot of ways it feels pretty similar, and that also comes down to this 2.4 litre turbo diesel engine, a bi-turbo diesel. It's got enough grunt and it feels up to the task, and then you've got the 6-speed auto, which so far on this test has done no wrong, and there's the 4-wheel drive system, which is the same sort of super select system that they use in Mitsubishis. It means you can drive in 4-wheel drive on sealed surfaces without the center diff locked, and then there is a high range system with the center diff locked, and low range of course for when things get a bit more treacherous. So now just doing a little bit more higher speed driving, not high speed, but higher speeds than what we were doing, and the suspension feels pretty bloody good actually. It's not too firm, not too sharp at the back, considering we've got no load in the back, just 2 people on board here at the moment, and it is feeling sorted and comfortable, and the steering does have a pretty predictable manner to it as well. What I am impressed by is that the suspension does balance that softness over the bigger bumps and also the connectedness that you want when you are 4-wheel driving, to be able to feel little bumps in the surface without them interrupting your progress. And I do think they've done a fantastic job of tuning the suspension in this, and good on them for investing in the Australian knowledge and know-how to make it better than it otherwise might have been. Now, they told us before that they could have launched it without a suspension tune. There we go. Okay, we're in low range. Now, this section right here is a little bit steeper than some other spots. Now there is a hill descent control system. I can use that by hitting the button there and just let the car or the ute crawl down this hill. It is rather steep, and I mean, I wish I could see the camera view. Maybe there's a way we can do that. It's a good surround view camera system, I've got to say. It gives you a good glance at what's ahead, and you've got a forward view and a round view so you can see what's going on. This is pretty steep, but the hill descent control system is working an absolute treat to get us down here. But we are extremely steep right there, and you can probably see from the horizon out the window going sideways. But it's done the hill descent thing very, very easily. Low range gearing, of course, with that center diff lock seems to work pretty well. There is a rear differential lock as well, and a limited slip rear diff. So you've got all the hardware there to get the job done in situations like that, where it's a bit more treacherous. And we'll go through this little dip gully down here, just on the brake a little bit. The pedal feel for both brake and accelerator is pretty progressive. And up here, steep hill, no issues, plenty of grunt, lots of torque. And that's one thing that I've always found with this engine. I like the fact that it's just one engine across the range in both the Triton and the Navara. It's a democratic approach to power, I would say. And it means that even if you buy the cheap one, you're getting all the grunt you can get. But obviously that means there is no choice of a more powerful one if that's what you need. Now, also part of this tune by Premcar is a different steering tune, and it does feel a little bit heftier, and also it's supposedly got better linearity once you start to turn the wheel, and better predictability at higher speeds as well. But can feel the rocks underneath the tires, can feel like I've got enough purchase on the surface, and up and through. Easy done, easy progress. So what about efficiency? Well, the official combined cycle fuel consumption figure for this new Navara range is 7.7 litres per 100. Remember, they're all dual cab, they're all pickup, they're all automatic, they're all four-wheel drive. So it's the same number across all versions. So that's, I guess, pretty good for a dual cab like this. Now, this hasn't been a proper test of what the fuel consumption will be like in reality. Obviously, this has been just off-road for a very short period to see what it's like. And I won't actually comment on what the number is that I've seen on the screen, because it's not really that representative unless you're going to do off-roading all the time. But I will call out the fact that you do have a generous diesel tank capacity of 75 litres, and there is AdBlue for this one. So another consumable that you have to keep in mind, because it's got a better emissions rating than some other dual cab diesel utes. You do have a 17 litre AdBlue tank that you will need to top up, but don't let that deter you, because I think it could actually be better for the environment in the longer term. But don't let that deter you, because, hey, AdBlue is becoming more and more readily available no matter where you travel. When it comes to safety stuff, there is plenty on offer. Even though this vehicle doesn't have an ANCAP rating at the time I'm filming this, it does come loaded across the range with lots of active safety tech. So you've got autonomous emergency braking, there's emergency lane keeping assist, which you can switch off if you don't like it. There's also blind spot monitoring, front and rear cross traffic alert, which is excellent. You get a surround view camera system as standard on all grades, which is another really good touch from Nissan in my opinion. And you've also got things like the driver monitoring camera. As I said, I haven't been able to test whether that is annoying or not. And you've got speed sign recognition too. So there's plenty of great features in here. I can't wait to see what it all comes together like when it comes to the real world driving situations. Now, if it all goes wrong, you've got 8 airbags in this vehicle. There's dual front, front side, driver's knee, front center airbag, and curtain coverage for both rows of window seats. So the safety stuff, tick. Thumbs up, whatever that is, both. Nissan has put a lot of emphasis on its ownership program in Australia, and you can get a conditional 10-year, 300,000 kilometre warranty if you buy one of these new vehicles and you service it with the brand. If you don't service it with Nissan, you still get a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which might be enough for some. And there's also the potential for up to 10 years and 300,000 Ks of roadside assistance if you do service with the brand. Now, servicing intervals, you can expect 12 months, 15,000 kilometres. The service pricing isn't confirmed at the time I'm filming this, but it will be competitive. That is something that Nissan has put forward, and there will be a 5-year capped price or flat price servicing plan, as they call it. What do you think about that? Would that be enough to entice you into a Navara? I'd love to know your thoughts. Look, it might not necessarily be its own product, but it does have its own identity. And I reckon that the new generation Navara, will offer something to customers who are looking for a dual cab ute that does have a lot of the boxes ticked. From my first impressions, I reckon this one could be competitive, but I'd love to know what you think. How should it be priced? Have your say in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you when I see you.